Yogi yunjita satatam atmanam rahasi sitaha ekakiyata chittatma nirashya parigraha. A translator should always try to concentrate his mind on the Supreme Self. He should live alone in a secluded place and should always carefully control his mind. He should be free from desires and feelings of possessiveness. So we have this point here. What is the main point? That even though this is Ashtanga Yoga and we are not practicing, generally very popular in public, yoga means Ashtanga Yoga. Correct? Mostly spiritual organizations, they don't even teach Ashtanga Yoga properly, because Ashtanga Yoga means there are 8 parts. They're not teaching you 8 parts. They teach you some 1 part maybe. And that makes some khichdi out of that and gives some diluted form of spiritualism. And people do not know even what is the goal of yoga. Mostly people practice some portions of Ashtanga Yoga for some kind of good health, or some maybe little better, some peace of mind. But what is Krishna consciousness? Even to know that, you should be very, very fortunate. Even to know what is Krishna consciousness. Mostly people don't. You meet people, I am interested, I want to read Gita, that's all is there. But what is Krishna consciousness? Even a scent of it, you have to be really fortunate to get it. Okay? Brahmanda Brahmite. What is the shloka? Kono bhagyavan jeev Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Beej. So a rare fortunate person gets Bhakti Lata Beej. And here Prabhupada says very nicely that direct and indirect Krishna consciousness. Even trying to understand Brahman, just like this Ashtanga Yogis, they try to meditate on the Paramatma. Okay, Jnanis try to meditate on the Brahman. That is also indirect Krishna consciousness, because it is included. Vadanti tattva vidas tattvam ajnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti shabdate. It is the supreme truth has 3 features. What is that? Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. It is advayam. It is non-dual. Now, you say, I am seeing the sunshine. Yeah, you are seeing the sun in one way. Sunshine cannot be separated from the sun. So in that way, it is very clear that these people are also indirectly Krishna conscious. But when there is an opportunity to be direct Krishna conscious, why don't you take that opportunity? That is a very nice argument. It's a little terse, strong. Suppose there is some person, and that person has, there is an opportunity to directly deal with that person. Wanted to be more intelligent than dealing with the stool urine. Correct. So stool urine is, this material world is like a stool urine of the Lord. An example, through Krishna's stool. It is created out of disgust for the people who are like us, who have so much desire for material enjoyment. It is not created out of happiness. Created out of disgust for the idiots, for the fools, for the mad people who have no desire to participate in the Lord's eternal Leela. They want to have their own Leela. They want to create. Therefore, most of the people in this world are so envious of the Lord. So for that, better than being so envious, why don't you start this indirect Krishna consciousness? Therefore, these processes exist. You can't. First is, the person is just vikarmi. He is doing all his sinful activities. Then he becomes karmi. At least he lives a pious life regulated according to Shastra. Then as a karmi, he becomes nishkam karmi, where he starts giving up the results of his work. Still better. There are 2 varieties we can say. There are Bhagavad Gita, the 2 chapters, karmi in Krishna consciousness, karma yoga and karma yoga. Little better karmi, you can say. And then comes a jnana yogi, who is still better. Karmi is at least doing his work, but the fruit of his work is sacrificing for the glorification of the Lord. But Jnani is still better. At least he is trying to understand about the Lord. And then Bhakti Yogi is still better. Okay? So here, from a Jnani, Yogi is coming now. In the end of this chapter, or the 6th chapter, Krishna will say, better than a Karmi is a Jnani, better than a Jnani is a Yogi. But among all the yogis, highest is Bhakti Yogi. So there is a gradation actually. So we can understand why did Krishna open it up. Because for a person who just wants to be independent, at least he starts focusing on the Lord, some way or another. If he can do directly, that is very, very fortunate. Direct Krishna consciousness means he feels the mercy of the Lord, and he feels eagerness to take shelter of the Krishna's lotus feet. This is direct Krishna consciousness. That is not everybody so fortunate. So they come to indirect level. Okay, they cannot. Idea is to focus on the Lord somehow. You cannot do in the beginning because there is no faith. Why is the problem? We keep banging again, every class, but people don't understand this. Vina Pashugnaha, because they are meat eaters, because they are committing suicide. Therefore, they cannot understand the pleasure or devotion service to Krishna. So, therefore, we have this indirect Krishna consciousness path. You may ask why the Karma Yoga, why it was made anyway by the Lord. Why Lord had to make it? What was the need? Why he had to talk about it in the Bhagavad Gita? There are so many reasons. One of the reasons is that why that Ashtanga Yoga even mentioned? Why the Jnana Yoga even mentioned? Krishna could have directly talked Bhakti Yoga. Then what would people would have said? There are so many reasons. One of the reasons Krishna did not talk about it. Actually, that is still better. That is still better. There somebody went to Prabhupada. So Prabhupada, what about Raja Yoga? Prabhupada said, I am giving you Emperor Yoga. Don't worry. So these people will talk about, no, Krishna did not talk about. Actually, that is better than even Bhakti Yoga. Therefore, Krishna mentions Karma Yoga, Krishna mentions Jnana Yoga, Krishna mentions Ashtanga Yoga. And then he says, Bhakti Yoga is the highest. Yoginam abhisarvesham. That means I am aware of all these things. There are many realizations devotees have in this. Today I am getting one of them. So, Bhakti Yoga gives an opportunity. Now suppose you want to like some person. Now what do you do with this tool? You directly, why don't you deal with that person? So wonderful, it will be heart to heart. That opportunity is there. So Bhakti Yoga gives you an opportunity for direct heart to heart relation to the Lord. You reveal your heart to the Lord, my Lord, I am in this difficult position, completely crushed by Maya. I want to enjoy loving devotion to you, which is a privilege only for the Paramahamsas. Therefore, Queen Kunti says, what is the Yata Paramahamsana Munina Amalatmanam Bhakti Yoga Vidhanartham Katham Pashyemahi Sriyaha. He says, Yata Paramahamsana. This is only privilege of the Paramahamsas. Paramahamsa means very pure, exalted soul. Not we have given rubber stamp. Paramahamsa is a very exalted position. Yata Paramahamsana Munina. Munina means great sages. Yata Paramahamsana Muninam Amalatmana. Amalatmana means people who are thoroughly pure. Mala means mal. Amala means no mal. So there are three categories. Yata Paramahamsana Muninam Amalatmanam Bhakti Yoga Vidhanartham. Bhakti Yoga. So you give devotion to yourself to what kind of people whose heart is fully pure, who are exalted spiritualists and great sages. You give to them. What about me? I am just an ordinary woman. Katham Pashyemahi Sriyaha. I am just an ordinary woman. So our position is even worse than that. Because Queen Kunti was not ordinary woman. She was, aunt of Krishna. So where are we? Therefore, Namo Mahavadanyaya. How did he get bhakti? It is not for us. Even Queen Kunti is saying it is not for me. So where is our position? Our position is Namo Mahavadanyaya. It is because of Lord Chaitanya that we are able to smell bhakti. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate. Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratushe Namaha. Krishna Prema Pradayate. Namo Krishna. Lord Chaitanya is so merciful, so merciful. Krishna Prema Pradayate is giving Krishna Prema. Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya. His another name is Shri Krishna Chaitanya. He is Krishna himself. I give all obeisances. It is actually the mercy of Lord Chaitanya that even the most unqualified people are given bhakti. Just imagine otherwise. What is the regular process? You become a karma yogi nicely, then you understand you should do jnana, then you do jnana yoga, then you understand, then you do ashtanga yoga, then you see the Paramatma in the heart, then you surrender to the Lord. Over. That much process will take million lifetimes. It's very, very difficult. Huh? Prabhupada says so many times, it is not ordinary. Tapasa brahmacharyena yamena damena va tyagena sattva shauchavyam yamena niyamena va. This is all over. If you have to follow the regular process, we are not fit. It's an exceptional process. Just like Prabhupada used to say, I got the backdoor key to the spiritual world. It is not a normal process which we are getting. Actually, we are not entitled for this. That's why many times people get surprised by the change that occurs in Krishna. They can't believe what happened to you. First, they can't believe change can occur so fast. And then, when they actually, recently I went to Mayapur and I saw people from Syria, from Lebanon. They become devotees. You can't believe it. You can't just believe anyone. So see to them. We went to the Jagannath temple in Mayapur. I just showed him. There's a Jagannatha. So I say, I'm learning. He has to pick up so many things. What he's picking up? And he's saying this chanting is so nice. But why is getting? Actually, we are not entitled. With the kind of sinful activities we have done, with the kind of mentality we have done, we are not entitled. We have to know it's a karuna. It is not that you ask something and you are getting that. It is mercy, unlimited. We cannot even understand the kindness of Lord Chaitanya. How he has been. It's not a regular way. Even Lord Krishna made a condition. Therefore, Prabhupada says, what did a condition he made? Sarvadharvana parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja. You surrender to me, then I take charge. He made a condition. But Lord Chaitanya did not make a condition. He just gave an example of perfect devotee. Just look at him and become devotee. Just give an example. He just freely distributing. Prabhupada says, yes, it is his property. Krishna Bhakti is the property of Krishna. Suppose you have some money. And you go to the bus stand in Mangalore and start distributing. Can anybody stop you? Can police say how you distribute? What is your business? It's my money. I want to distribute. Can anybody stop you? You go and use some street, somebody take all them. Nobody can stop you. It's your money. So Krishna Bhakti is Krishna's property. If he wants to give himself, because Krishna Bhakti and Krishna is not different. If Krishna wants to give himself, nobody can stop him. It is, he himself owns himself. If he wants to give, he can give. Yes, also another thing is Krishna becomes the property of his devotees. If they want to give, that is also easy way. Therefore, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, my dear Vaishnavacharya, I am your dog. Please give me Krishna Bhakti. Please give me Krishna. Krishna se tomara, Krishna dite paro. You have the right to give Krishna, and Krishna belongs to you. It's a mercy of therefore Srila Prabhupada, as a representative of Lord Chaitanya, that Krishna Bhakti is getting distributed like this, like take. Otherwise, you see this process, Ashtanga Yoga process. Be ready. You have to go to the forest. Most of the people follow never Ashtanga, one of the Angas. What are the Ashtangas? Go to the forest, sit down in an isolated place. Now the next shloka, the discussion will start. Okay? Actually, in this, interestingly, one devotee has showed, in this chapter, all the 8 Angas are described. If you study very carefully. Yama is there, because they were the beginning, the description of control of the mind. Correct? Now also that this shloka described, this is going Yama and Niyama. Then now Shaucha Deshe, then Asana. Very nicely, shloka wise he has shown. This shloka talks about this. You can analyze very nicely. So, you have to go to the forest in a secluded place, perfectly control your mind and senses. Sit down on a kusha grass, which is neither too high, neither too low. And sit down there and focus on the tip of the nose first to calm the mind. And then focus on the Lord in the heart. Okay? Asana, some pranayama. Before doing that, some asanas and pranayama will be there, because you cannot sit for a long time otherwise. And also it controls the mind to some extent. Prabhupada said that is the regular, the mechanical way of controlling the mind, the asanas and pranayamas. And then after that, dharana, dhyana, pratyahara, and then last is samadhi. Full absorption of the Lord's lotus feet. This process is very, very difficult for anybody today. We're not saying nobody can do it, because we don't want to make a general comment, but more or less it is impossible. For a common man to go to the forest, sit down on a kusha grass, snakes will be there, insects will be there, and you handle all that. And it's that kind of determination. We are requesting people who simply chant Hare Krishna mantra, Iya hoita sarva siddhi tumara. You don't have to do all this. That itself they are struggling to do. They cannot create 2 hours to chant Hare Krishna mantra, and these people will go to the forest and sit down, just imagine. It's not possible. So this is the kindness of Lord Chaitanya. And actually Prabhupada says something very nicely. He says that in Bhagavad Gita says, Manushyanam sahasreshu, among thousands of men, Kashit yatati siddhe. Somebody wants to achieve perfection among thousands of men. Yatatam api siddhanam. Among all those people who achieve perfection, there is hardly one person knows him. This is the... So to know Krishna, it is 1 in a billion. And here what is Lord Chaitanya is giving is Krishna Prema. Krishna Prema is after you know a person. Correct? Unless you know a person, you cannot love him. That means it includes that knowledge itself. So what he has given is actually very, very rare. And we didn't know. By Krishna's kindness, by Lord Chaitanya's kindness, we have it. So what is Krishna consciousness? Therefore is direct relationship with the Lord. And what is Brahman realization? Indirect. You are knowing something about, just like in the morning you say, you see sunshine, you say sun has come, sun has come. Definitely it is some knowledge about the sun. Sun is light, something. And then Paramatma realization compared to seeing the disk on the sky. Some more knowledge from where the light is coming. But Bhagavan realization means you go inside the sun and see the dynamics of the sun. This is the highest. So therefore Krishna consciousness gives the highest realization and an opportunity for personal relationship. Now this process of Krishna consciousness is given by Lord Chaitanya. If there are no austerities, which basic austerity Lord Chaitanya has given is very minimal, then we want to taste Krishna consciousness, but we can't jump there. That we become therefore what is known as Sahajiya. Sahajiya means artificially we make a pretense of the society, I am Krishna conscious, but internally I struggle to follow very basic rules and regulations given by the Acharya. In fact, it happened to the Lord Chaitanya movement. The Lord Chaitanya started this movement 500 years ago, and within 100 and 200 years what happened? The movement slowly started disintegrating because devotees, people were taking it, that's a tendency. People were taking it a bit cheap. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's worship, if you see Vrindavan, Odisha, Bengal, East, West, he was being worshipped. So his disciples are also getting, huge kind of an honor around, and they were very qualified. But slowly, as 4 or 5 generations slowly down, people are not so qualified, and things started disintegrating. So therefore, in a parampara, therefore reinforcements are always sent. Reinforcements come. And one of the reinforcements was Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and the next was his son Bhaktivinoda Prabhupada. And one devotee told me recently a very nice thing. He said Bhaktivinoda Prabhupada had to rebrand the whole movement. Just like, sometime when a product doesn't sell, what they do? They come out with a new name, with a new cover, rebrand the same. Just like banks also may have one, say package or whatever new product, you call it product. When the product doesn't sell, even though it's very good, you rebrand it. New name, and you launch it with, some more attractive things, and people take it. So Bhaktivinoda Prabhupada actually rebranded. Very interesting, his rebranding. Number one, and it sold. The product sold after rebranding. Number one, in our Gaudiya Sampradaya, only dress was on langot. They were mostly Babajis wearing white dress. Nobody was wearing saffron dress. You don't see anybody previous to Bhakti. He rebranded Bhaktivinoda Prabhupada. We have saffron, why not? Number two, there was nothing like homas, when initiation homas are there. There was nothing. All the initiations were in the ear, they used to chant the mantras, not the Kama Gayatri. The 6 other mantras we chant, from Guru, Lord Chaitanya and Krishna, that's all. He had to do, he said, no, introduce that also, because normal Brahmanas chant this Kama Gayatri. Why not that also? Because he wanted them to be accepted in the society as authorized Brahmanas. Because we are picking up people from any community. This caste Brahmanas don't accept that. But we are better than the Brahmanas in that way if somebody is following. So I said, no, make the homas and introduce the Kama Gayatri, and the normal yagna is done. Where Upanayana Homa, everything will be there then. He connected it. and then wearing thread and using, then he gave a revolution of using anything, just like Rupa Goswami Shloka was quoted here. Anything can be used for the service of the Lord. In his time, he was one of the first persons in India to use a car. The car was just started. Imagine this is 1912, 13, 14, when these things started coming up. He was one of the first persons to use vehicles for preaching. Very, very vigorously, he gave the implementation that anything should be used for the service of the Lord. So he had to rebrand. The message is same, but the message of Lord Chaitanya is very, very powerful. It is the most effective process. Therefore, Prabhupada used to say, this Krishna conscious movement is a boon for the human society. He says very loudly, boon for the human society. Why it's a boon? It is a boon. They don't deserve it. It's being given out, but it's the highest form of spiritual realization which can be given up, where a person is directly gifted love for Krishna, and he feels transcendental pleasure at the shelter of the Lord. So this is the nature of this movement. And here we are seeing Ashtanga Yoga. So it's true, Krishna consciousness is much higher than Ashtanga Yoga, because Ashtanga Yoga is indirect Krishna consciousness. You're not directly meditating on Krishna's pastime, never. In Ashtanga Yoga, the greatest achievement is if you can get darshan of the tip of the lotus feet of the Lord, that's it. That's the Ashtanga Yogi can imagine the greatest. After years and decades and centuries and thousands of years of tapasya, they can see the tip of the lotus feet of the Lord. That is the maximum. Just imagine. And here we are, so fortunate. Okay? So we should take this process very seriously and accept the mercy of Lord Chaitanya and be blessed. So the process of Ashtanga Yoga given here, there are principles are same in all the yogas. Here it is to talk about that from all the angles we should withdraw our mind and fix on the lotus feet of the Lord. Correct? That's what the shloka is talking about. This should be practiced by us. We should also practice in Bhakti Yoga also. It is said Bhakti Yoga also means anything which is unfavorable for devotion service, we should ignore, and anything which is favorable to devotion service, we should accept. So that process is same here. For that there is no doubt. But what is the next detail that will come now after this Yama Niyama? The next detail, go to the forest. We don't want to do that. In fact, Acharya has said we should practice Krishna consciousness in the city, surrounded by people, and preach the message. At the same time, the shloka is saying we should live alone. So how do we understand this? Alone means we are not having asat sangha. That is loneliness for us. That is your low. It's just like you go, working in an office or working in a college, there are so many people. But I am keeping my heart and constantly praying to the Lord and keeping my heart and mind at Krishna's lotus feet. The asat sangha. Because we are asat sangha, is associated with asat sangha. And if we get infected by asat sangha, then desire for name, position, sense gratification start arising in the heart. And then the devotee, it is said, when the devotee's heart, sense gratification enters, he loses his peace of mind. He loses his simplicity of a devotee. Correct? Devotee is very humble, he is very pleasurable, he is so much eager to serve Krishna, he loses everything. Then his situation is very difficult. Srila Prabhupada ki, Bhagavad Gita ki.